I'm here in Tuam, County Galway, at a monument on the wall here to Major Dick Dowling, who fought at Sabine Pass. And with me I have David Burke and Pat O Hora. Pat is a local historian and David is a local journalist. And maybe I'll start with you, David, and ask you, how did this plaque end up on the Town Hall in Tuam in County Galway?
Well, to put the last first, the reason it's in Tuam is because Tuam is the nearest reasonably sized town to where Dick Dowling was born. He was born in a place called Knock, between Dunmore and Milltown, out the road there. And the main reason that it's here is because his descendant, a great niece called Anne Caraway Ivans from Houston in Texas, wanted to commemorate her ancestor. And she has been coming back and forth to Tuam quite a few times with her husband Len. And so they spent a lot of time in Ireland, and they built up contacts in Tuam. And she eventually persuaded, I think, her family to club together and fund this monument.
Okay. And Pat, was there any fundraising done in Houston, Texas? Or was it all the money from the family themselves?
No, I think it was all the money from the family itself, but it arose because there had been kind of cultural traffic, if you like, Tuam people going to the Battle of the Sabine Pass. And
from Tuam?
Yes, and being very generously kind of hosted by Anne. And Anne fell in love with Ireland, actually, and she had her ashes scattered on Galway Bay.
She was a real Galwegian then. Yes. And what year was the plaque?
1998.
31st of May, 1998. Yeah. And maybe I could ask you both the same question. Supermax is over behind the camera there. If you had a chance to meet Major Dick Dowling in Supermax for a half an hour, what would you say to him, or what would you like to ask him? I'll start with you, David.
I would ask him a question. First of all, I admire his prowess as a military officer. He did a wonderful job of leadership at the Sabine Pass. But there is a 21st century problem that I would have to put to him, and that is, how could he, as the descendant or an Irishman who had suffered under British rule, be the owner of slaves in America in the mid-19th century? And I mean that, I don't mean that in a condemnatory way. I would just like to know the mindset of people of his generation.
Yeah, so in other words, he fought for the Confederacy who wanted to preserve slavery.
No, it's not that. It's not. He fought for the Confederacy, I believe, because he landed where he landed, and he was married to the daughter of a fairly prominent citizen, and he was fighting for the place which he had made his home. But he did own slaves.
Okay,
and
I wasn't aware of that.
As far as I know, he owned slaves, and I just wonder how he was able to reconcile that with his Irish Catholic principles. I'm not saying it's an easy question to answer, but I would ask him.
Okay, I'm not sure that's a Supermax would be the correct venue for that, and I think it might take more than a half an hour. Pat, what would you like to ask him or talk to him about?
Well, no, it was just a thing that Anne mentioned, that in the course of his stay in Houston, as Houston grew, that he owned several blocks of Houston. Houston was apparently on the market block by block. Why did he give it all away? He'd be a billionaire.
Multi-millionaire, or his descendants would be.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't think. I think time and distance, the past is a foreign land, really, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Well, thank you both very much for giving of your time today.
You're welcome.